As 2024 comes to an end, it is time to start thinking about your 2025 financial goals. When I first started setting financial goals, I had no idea where to start as I've never set them before, but I've learned a lot along my journey, and today I want to share with you 10 steps to setting your financial goals if you have no idea where to start. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a solo mum to one, and on this channel I like to talk everything budgeting, saving and frugal living. So if you like that kind of thing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So in today's video, I want to talk about how to set your financial goals. And the first step that you need to do is reflect on your 2024 finances. So the first thing to do is look at all your income that came in. Was it just from your employment job? Is that full-time or part-time? Did you claim any benefits from the government at all? Add that into your income as well. Do you have any side hustles, or did you sell anything online? Add all of that in as well if you can remember it. The next thing you want to do is also look at all your outgoings. How much did you spend? Now, if you already track your money, this is going to be very easy for you to do. If you don't track your money, it's going to be a little bit more time consuming. It's going through all your bank statements from January 2024 and having a look at what actually went out of your bank. If you don't want to look at everything that was going out and what it went out for, which I highly recommend, you can go to the end of that month and just see how much went out that month if you want to do it that way. It's up to you. It's your financial goals, so you do what's best for you. By doing this and being able to see your income and your expenses, you're going to be able to see how well you did, where you need to improve, what you may need to stop doing so much to save money, and you can use that information to set your 2025 financial goals. Step 2 is to actually get clear about your financial goals and what you want to achieve. Now, you can do this by yourself, but if you are married or you have a spouse or you have a family, it might be a good idea to do this together so that you're both on the same page. So what are you looking to achieve in 2025? Do you want to build up an emergency fund, which is usually 3 to 6 months of your household expenses? So however much your household spends every single month on just basic bills to be able to survive, you need 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. So if you were to lose your job or anything was to go wrong, you're not in trouble. You don't have to put it on credit card and get into debt. And you can actually just have that emergency fund, take the money out of that, and then replenish that once you've got yourself sorted. Do you want to save for a specific holiday? Maybe you're saving for a once in a lifetime trip. So is that a financial goal of yours, is to save an X amount of money by the end of 2025? So you can go on this once in a lifetime holiday in 2026. Is it the fact that you have got engaged and you've got a wedding coming up? Do you want to start saving to purchase your first home? Or is it the fact that you just want to pay off some debt so you are debt free? The important thing is when you are setting these goals is to have the SMART goals. So you need to be very specific about what you want to achieve. It can't just be like, oh yeah, I want to save like £5,000. What for? It needs to be extremely specific about what you want to achieve. It also needs to be measurable. It needs to be achievable. It needs to be relevant to you and your family. And it needs to be time bound. So when do you actually want to save up for this particular event? Do you want to go on this once in a lifetime trip in 2026? So by the end of 2025, we need to save X amount of money. Be very specific and very time bound of what you want to do. Step 3 is to determine your monthly budget. So you need to write down all your income sources, whether that is just your income sources, your spouse's income sources. Write down all the income sources that will be coming in that month. You also need to write down all your expenses that will be going out that month as well. You will then need to categorize your expenses, such as you'll need your fixed expenses, which is things like your rent, your mortgage, your council tax, your gas, your electric, your phone bill. What is the same amount of money that goes out every single month? You then need to categorize your variable expenses. So these are things like groceries and entertainment, things that can change from week to week or from month to month. Once you've done both of those tasks, the next thing you need to do is have a look and see where you can cut back. Is there anything that you can cut down on? Maybe you have a takeaway every single week or 2 or 3 times a week. Can that go down to every other week? Or can you even cut that down to once a month? Seeing where you can cut back on your expenses will help you determine your 2025 goals. If you would like me to do another video on where to look to cut back your expenses, then do let me know in the comment box below. Step 4 is to calculate your monthly and weekly savings target. Depending on whether you get paid monthly, weekly, or bi-weekly, you need to set up where you are going to start saving. So based on the previous task of your income and your expenses, you're going to be able to determine how much you are going to be able to save. Now, it's a good idea to have a set amount each month or each week that you are planning to save. However, if you have money left over at the end of the month, you can add that into your savings account if you wanted to, which then leads me on to getting a savings account. Don't just let it sit in your usual current account. Actually have a high yield savings account, which is also going to grow on interest. So making sure that you have a direct debit set up that's automated, so you don't have to worry about putting that money into the account. You open up a high yield savings account and you have a direct debit going from your account into that account with how much you want to save each month. And therefore, you know that that saving money is got to go into your monthly budget. Step 5 is to prioritise your emergency fund. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier on about an emergency fund, and a lot of people say to have £1,000 emergency fund to get you started and then build on that to 3 to 6 months of a household income emergency fund. Now, if £1,000 to you sounds like a lot of money, just start off in small little chunks. Start off with saving £100, then say, right, now I need to save £200, and so on and so on. When you get to say £500, then you can say, I need to save £1,000, and just keep upping it that way if that feels more achievable for you. Setting up your emergency fund is about building something slowly over time. You can set it into your budget. Having an emergency fund is something that you can put into your monthly budget and let it grow over time. You could have another savings account if you wanted to, or you could just have it there, just building that money if you wanted to, if that feels best for you. I always recommend a high yield savings account. However, if you have any more options or any other things that you may do, then do drop them down in the comment box below. Step 6 is actually clearing out any debts you may have. Now, I am very fortunate that I am completely and utterly debt free. I got a bit of a payout when I divorced my ex-husband, and I used pretty much all that money to completely clear my debts. So I have been debt free for many years now. I don't use credit cards at all. A lot of people would say that's stupid, but I had a lot of debt with credit cards, and I'm starting to feel now that I might be ready for a credit card again because I'm learning more about finances. But for a long time, I wanted to stay away from them because I just saw it as easy money. So I decided to step away from all the credit cards and just use cash, just to be able to learn a lot more about finances so I don't get myself in the same situation I was before. So a debt repayment or clearing off debt could be part of your financial goals in 2025, because you don't need to have just one goal. You can have 2 or 3 goals. I wouldn't have any more than 3 financial goals because I think you could overwhelm yourself, and 3 is even pushing it. But you don't just have to have one specific financial goal if that's not something you want to do. Clearing off debt can go as part of your financial goals of 2025. And if you do have debt, I highly recommend that clearing off debt is something that does go on your financial goal list of 2025. So how you clear off debt is, first of all, list all the debts that you have, whether it's personal loans, credit cards, family loans, whatever debts you may have. Also listing all the interest rates on those debts as well. The next thing you need to do is decide whether you want to do the snowball effect or the avalanche effect. So the snowball effect is paying off the debt from the smallest debt to the highest debt, or the avalanche effect is paying off the high interest debt all the way down to the smallest one. For me personally, if I was still in debt, I would do the snowball effect, where I start off with the smallest debt and I work my way up. So what you do is you pay off all your minimum payments on all your debts. All the minimums need to be paid off. However, that smallest debt, you chuck everything else you can at it. Once you've cleared that debt, you then take the minimum of that debt and put it onto the next one, and again throw everything at it and clear the debt. The reason I feel that the snowball effect works best for the majority of people is more psychological. Once you've cleared one debt, you get that motivation and that dopamine rush, and you feel like more determined and more capable of clearing the next debt and the next debt and the next debt. And by the time you come to the highest debt, you'll have all this extra money just to throw everything at it. You might not feel that works for you, but psychologically, it's a little bit of a dopamine rush. Like when you are trying to lose weight, and you lose a couple of pounds, it gives you more motivation to keep going and to be able to lose a couple more pounds or pay a few more pounds off your debt. So if you do have any debt and you want me to go further into debt repayments and how to clear off debt, then do let me know in the comment box below as well. Step number 7 is to make some sinking funds or a small buffer. So we've just come out of Christmas, and Christmas can be very expensive and it can be very, very stressful. However, each month, if you are putting a little bit of money away for these things that come up every year, such as Christmas and Easter and maybe a yearly holiday that you have, putting some money aside from January, when it comes to Christmas at 2025, you'll already have some money set aside to get some Christmas presents, do your Christmas food shop, or whatever it may be. But it's really important to start a sinking fund or start a small buffer for these particular events. Step 8 is to track and review your monthly budget. So I started tracking a few years ago, and the first year I did nothing with it. I just tracked everything I did. And then at the end of that year, I was able to look back and see what happened and where I need to make adjustments. I didn't just do it at the end of the year, I did it every single month. So at the end of January of 2024, I would look at how much I spent, what I spent it on, and whether or not there was necessary or unnecessary items that I purchased. And then in February, I tried to better myself a little bit more. When it came to the end of the year, I was able to look at my journey and see if I was able to improve or whether there's still room for me to improve. And that is also where sinking funds kind of come in, because I realized I wasn't putting money away for Christmas. So when it comes to that time of year, I spent a lot more money. So being able to put money away as a sinking fund is going to be able to help me in the future. So tracking your income and tracking your expenses will help you review your expenditure. It will help you review your goals, and it will help you see where you need to make more improvements. Now, you can track your money however you want to. There's plenty of budgeting apps out there. You can just use a notepad and pen if you wanted to, or you can simply do it on Google spreadsheets or Microsoft Excel or anything like that. So doing what is best for you, because everybody's different, you're able to see then physically where your money is coming in and going out. Step number 9 is to celebrate your small wins. Don't just be constantly, I need to save, I need to save, I need to do this, I need to do that. When you've done something and you save for something, then celebrate that win. If your target is to make a £500 emergency fund and you do that, fantastic, then celebrate that. If you start saving for a holiday and you reach your goal, then celebrate that as well. It's really important to celebrate the small wins, and make sure that you do celebrate them with a family outing or treating yourself to a little spa day or something. It's okay to do those things now and again. Don't be constantly, I need to save, 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 save. I can't do anything. Still treat yourself, but make sure that you put it in your monthly budget. And step number 10 is to evaluate your goals every 3 months. So I do it every single month to make sure that I'm on task. But if you didn't want to do that, if you found that too much, do it every 3 months. See where you can make some more cutbacks. If things are not working for you, then adjust your budget. You don't need to do a budget at the beginning of 2025 and it has to stay that way all through the year. The whole point of a budget is to see what's coming in, what's going out, and adjusting as necessary. You can go all in and say, we're not going out, we're not doing this, we're not doing anything else. We are saving every penny for the things that we want. You can absolutely do that. That's not a problem. But you might also find that over time, you might feel that you're getting unhappy, that you're feeling anxious more, that you're feeling a little bit stressed out, and knowing that at least once or twice a month, you need to go out and enjoy yourself and spend that little bit of money. So therefore, you need to go back to your budget, adjust your budget so that you can add that into it. As long as everything is added into your budget, you can still have a fantastic life. If you'd like me to go more into how to set your budget, again, let me know in the comment box below. That is all I've got for you, but if you have any other tips on how to set financial goals for 2025, then do let us know so that everybody else can learn from one another. I hope you found value from this video today. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and share it with somebody else that may need this to set up their financial goals for 2025. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos from me. I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day or good evening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.